Ramses, I'm tired.
Why would you do that?
You know I've been holding on to that since the moment you said it.
This is gonna be a good one, y'all. I could tell already.
I would
Mike
love
is
to
bringing his A game.
I would love to just get a movement where people in person are calling you Ramses. You really shouldn't have told me that information. I would say that is the kind of information that you should not tell to me.
I'll be honest, I did run a prank on a fairly famous game developer for years where I got people to introduce themselves to him as him.
Oh, okay.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So I guess I have this coming. I guess I deserve this.
Well, I've been thinking, and I think actually it's a really good name. And
Ramses.
And I think you should change it. You know, I used to watch loads of... did you ever... the answer to this is going to be no, but in the UK, years ago, we were obsessed with Neighbours. Did you ever watch / hear of Neighbours?
As in Lands to Conquer? Or...
No, clearly you didn't. There was there's an Australian soap opera called Neighbours.
Wow.
You never heard of it? Oh god,
no.
I'm like slowly but surely discovering that certain things are unbelievably British, even when they're Australian. There was a show called Neighbours, which was massive. It was on at the same time every day. It was actually on twice a day. It was on like in the middle of the day for sort of the stay-at-home mums and retired people and stuff. And then it was on at like 5:30 once all the like kids had got back from school. But the reason I bring it up is because it was set on Ramsey Street, which was what reminded me. Unbelievable show. They tried to revive it recently. It got taken off the BBC. It went as you would expect. But they did a world tour where the cast went and did little shows and sat on a stage, and I took one of my employees, Zion, because we both love Neighbours. He still watches it. It's on like Amazon, or I don't know where it is. But we went and watched, and for like 2 hours we were the happiest people that ever existed.
Amazing. Really I think when it comes to TV, like I just don't know very much. I don't watch a lot of TV series.
You don't watch a lot of TV?
No, I watch movies, but TV series have disappointed me too often.
Right.
So I now do not watch anything that is serialized unless it's done and over and everybody can tell me that it was good until the end. Which means Stranger Things just went off the books. I'm not starting on that.
Yeah.
Because everybody told me it didn't end.
No.
In a satisfying way.
I watched the first episode. I watched all of Stranger Things. I watched the first episode of this last season, and I couldn't stomach it. It was some of the worst. I just couldn't do it, and then I just let my wife watch the rest. She was like, "Are you sure you know what?" I was like, "I think I'm good. I think I'm good."
Give me the summary. Give me the summary when we're done.
I'm actually surprised though that you're not into TV. I feel like there's this weird connection between sort of video games and TV. They are like interconnected.
Are they?
I don't know. I feel like if you're into games, you surely also kind of like TV. They surely like ping the same bits in your brain. Do you know?
Genuinely, the only reason I turn my television on is to play video games or watch a movie. That's it.
I'll admit something to you. I think I like TV more than games.
Wow.
I think I do. I adore TV.
Which is why you don't want to work at it.
Which is why, Well, you know, in the last couple of years, to be completely honest, I have explored what I could possibly do in TV. I've gone to all sorts of things because in Manchester we have an area called Media City, which is TV Central. It's where like the BBC is, ITV is, like it's huge. I can't remember. It's popped up like 10 years ago or something. I've been to a bunch of events there. I've like had tours of all the facilities there. I've like talked, I've emailed back and forth because I've just felt like the thing with me is I'm very good at sort of coming up with and selling things where I like them a lot. You know?
Right.
So because I know that I like TV even more than games, I'm like, well, I must be able to. The other side as well is that I keep thinking to myself, a huge thing in the UK is that we fucking love a good game show. We love a good game show. And like panel shows as well, you know? So obviously we've got all the ones that people know about, like Would I Lie to You and stuff like that. Have you never seen Would I Lie to You? Rami, I'm gonna send you some clips. It's unbelievable. But we absolutely love game shows here. You must know like Traitors.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
I might have seen parts of these shows.
Yeah.
And I have
but you don't
no
know
idea
the
what
names.
they're called.
It's literally Mafia. It's literally they made a TV show of Mafia. That's what they did.
Is there a TV show where there's a bunch of comedians sitting in front of newspaper clippings?
Yes, there is. That's Have I Got News for You.
Yeah, so that one has a version in the Netherlands that is Dutch. So I know that one.
Right.
And I like that format.
Yes, that's another huge one. We are massive for panel shows and also just game show stuff. But especially after Traitors. Traitors was fucking huge. They did like American versions, celebrity versions. That new series just came out. I remember watching it and being like, God, there must be a million game shows that I could come up with just from all of the fucking video games that I know.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there must be stuff. Anyway, yeah, I explored it, but then I very quickly came to the conclusion, if I think that there's no money in video games right now, there's certainly no money in TV. You know? Like, that industry is even more fucked than we are.
I actually almost had a TV show.
What?
Yeah.
Explain.
In the Netherlands, there was a pitch that I did for a TV show explaining the basics of game design.
Okay.
And psychology.
Right.
So not like a show about video games, but a show about the little people behind the video games, like big puppet masters.
Yeah.
It got pretty far, but then the government killed all funding for public television, pretty much. So that kind of did it.
Hence, there's no money in TV. Yeah. I'd still like to work on a TV show at some point, and I think clearly not for money. clearly there's no money, but it might be still kind of nice. I remember there was a clip of you on TV once. That's where one of my favorite memes came from, where you were like, and there was a bunch of question marks.
I don't remember what that was, but that's
I still have that on my phone as like a reaction. Sometimes I have it like as a sticker, iPhone sticker or something.
Amazing. You have to send that to me. I've never seen that one.
So good. If ever I'm like messaging someone in the industry, like, use that one. It's really good. It's really good.
I am so worried. I am so concerned.
I'll have to send it to you. Maybe in the video version of this podcast, we can have it just appearing next to me. It's unbelievable.
Oh, no.
It's unbelievable.
UK TV, you have this format that nobody else does, which is like the short British TV series, like 3 episodes a season.
Yeah.
6 episodes a season.
Yeah.
Kind of that.
We've always done that, yeah.
Those I love.
Yeah.
Because I only have to watch like 12 things to know whether it's bad.
I remember like years ago, it used to feel really like crap that like when I was younger, it was like, I'd watch like a new American show. You know, like The Office would have 22 episodes or something.
Right.
And then like the IT Crowd would have 6 episodes.
Right.
So like the IT Crowd went for like 3 or 4 seasons, and there's only like 20 episodes of it or something.
Yeah.
Whereas then like Lost goes for 6 seasons and it hits like nearly 200.
Right, but then also everybody regrets watching Lost at the end.
Yeah, you realize like how much filler there is. Like then you watch like IT Crowd and every episode is a banger. You know, every episode, I can't believe that happened. But of course now American TV has gone the British way now. Like like shows will have, weirdly they'll have like 8 or 9 episodes. I don't know how they pick those numbers. But they'll go, a lot of the time they're going 9 episodes now, which hurts my brain a little bit. I dislike that. Like choose, like why 9? That just makes me think. Sometimes I watch episode 9 and I get to the end of it and I'm like, going to be interesting to see how they wrap this up in episode 10. And they're not going to.
Yeah. That's the point. See you next season, buddy.
Maybe that is the point. Oh, no.
What LinkedIn post can we write about this so that it's about video games again? Here's what I learned from being frustrated at the 9th episode of my favorite TV series. No, but I liked what was it called? Utopia? was Channel 4 thing.
Utopia. I
Not the
can't
game show.
believe of all of the
Not the game
TV
show.
shows you've just brought up, you've just brought Utopia up.
The Channel 4
Yes, I'm
bright
very
yellow.
aware of Utopia. Yeah, I loved Utopia.
That was so good. That was so
It
good.
was fucking brutal.
Yep.
Christ,
Brilliant though.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That I loved. I also liked Sherlock's first 2 seasons.
Yeah, Sherlock was a good
one. And they really should have made a third one or maybe a fourth one, but sadly they obviously did not.
Yeah. I'm probably wrong about this, but I feel like British TV in general in the last several years has petered off a little bit. There have been shows, but you can name from like 10 plus years ago, you can name shows where you're like, holy shit, that was good.
Yeah.
That was fucking
Or
defining.
Potentially we're just getting old.
Maybe, but like, for example, you mentioned Sherlock, like Benedict Cumberbatch. Everybody saw him in that, and now he's everywhere. And I feel like you've not had that recently, where someone's popped off on a British TV show, and now they might like jump straight to Netflix or something like that.
Right.
There's been more British shows on Netflix, which has been nice.
I don't remember who said it, but I read an article the other day about the age of the movie star being over. There's fewer and fewer people whose name would make you go, oh, I'll buy a movie ticket for that.
Yeah. But do you think on some level they sort of, I say I mean a few specific companies, but I feel like the whole like big movie and there being big stars and it being this huge event kind of died years ago, like around the time of Endgame. Like Endgame happened and Avengers Endgame, and then since then, and obviously then Disney have just tried to fucking rinse it, and it's been going, and obviously they've realized now with all the stuff they're doing with Doomsday, like people just want this singular one thing every several years. Where that's the event that's going to happen, and they're trying to recreate that again. But I feel like every year now because even I don't give a shit about like the new Avatar coming out.
Neither do I.
Wasn't interested to be.
The 2 movies I enjoyed lately were Fall Guy, which I thought was very funny.
Yeah.
And Palm Springs, which is older, but I hadn't watched it.
Palm Springs is the time travel thing, right?
Yeah, it's the rom-com time travel.
Yeah, the Lonely Island guy.
The Lonely Island guy.
What's his fucking name? What's his name? I can't believe I forgot his name. Jake Peralta. From I can't remember.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine was very good.
I can't remember his name. That's bad. I don't like that. I'm gonna look it up really quick.
You're gonna look it. Okay,
it's really pissing me off.
Sit and watch.
It's actually really upsetting that I can't remember his fucking name. Andy Samberg.
There you go.
God, for that. That would have been an itch I could never scratch.
I think it is interesting though to see the step away from actors, because in games we've seen a big step towards actors.
Yeah,
which is weird. Why did that happen?
I don't know.
I've really wondered about that.
That's a good point, because we've done that a little bit. Like we've never ever had a name to do with any of our games before, and now we've got a game out later this month called Earth Must Die that has like a British. Thank you. I didn't come up with it, but thank you. And that has like a full British cast in it. Like of unbelievable names, and I've never been involved in anything like that before. It's the games by Dan Marshall, who does Size 5 Games, did The Swindle, Time Gentleman, Please, etc. And I remember when I was talking to him about this game, and he was saying he wanted this cast, and I was like, I wonder how he's going to do this. It'll be really interesting to watch how he does this. It turns out the answer is just fucking email them.
Yeah, you email them. Yeah.
And it really opened my eyes a little bit about, because I think, and again, this might just be a UK thing. I wonder sometimes like, oh man, I wonder like how well these British actors do. You know, like, oh, they're all on these panel shows. They're on this, they're that. I wonder how they do. And I think my impression now is they all do fine, but they still would very much like jobs and like work. And so when you email them saying, hey, can I get you for a day of voice work on my game?
Yep.
And beforehand I'd assume like, oh, and it's going to cost the earth. You know, they'll cost so much money.
No.
And it turns out they don't. They're just regular people and they need work. So if anybody's listening, they're like, "Oh, it would be really interesting to have some cool voice actors." in my game. It turns out just email them.
It really depends on the amount of work you have as well,
Yeah,
right? If you have if you have like 2 weeks of recording,
yeah,
that's going to be more complicated. But if you have like, listen, I have
exactly.
like 60 lines here for
Exactly,
you.
and most smaller studios gonna have like max 80,000 words in the full game anyway, so it's not gonna be a huge job. But yeah, I've always wondered it over the years. I've always seen like other studios have like, oh, they've got Matt Berry doing the voiceover for this game. Oh, I wonder if that cost them a lot of money. And I imagine the answer now that I know all of this is probably didn't cost as much as I thought it would.
No, you always think it's like here comes the big ticket. But
of course, the other side of it is how actually impactful it is. How actually impactful was it for them to have Matt Berry voicing that in their game?
I think that varies. I think that's another part that's interesting to me, is that having engaged actors in your game also helps on the marketing circuit.
Yeah.
Because they're faces, and we are very bad at faces as an industry.
Oh,
like,
yes.
Nobody knows.
I've got a funny story about that. I remember, because you're right. It's a funny thing, isn't it? Where like a movie or a TV show is sold on the actors. You know, when you see a new show coming out or a new movie coming out, and you're like, oh, this fucking guy's in it.
Right.
It's now a much more heightened chance that I'm going to watch this because I know I like them. And you're right, we don't do that. I remember I was at a BAFTA event once, and the host of the event, she kind of gave this speech at the start where she essentially was like, the video game industry, we are bad for this. And movies and TV have figured this out. And why aren't we doing this? And we could do this, but instead we've got this obsession with being more like, loads of people made this, and this studio title made this, and actually we could have some interesting success if we picked a person. You know, we were like, this person is the person, and I had very mixed feelings about it.
Same.
Because you know, as an industry, we do. She was right. We do like to push the narrative of it was a team that made this, and I think it's the correct thing. I think it's the correct thing to do, and I'm not going to say we should stop doing it. And also, I get her point. I sort of understood what she. But I remember when she said it, I remember feeling very defensive. I remember feeling like, no, fuck you. That's bullshit. I'm not gonna step out and be like, hey, I made this game and it was all by myself, because that would be a dick move to make. But also, you know, when it has worked, like you look at someone like Kojima or someone like that, he don't give a shit about doing that, does he?
No.
He's got teams of thousands of people making his game, but it's still the tagline is still by him. So. Should more of us be doing that?
At Vlambeer, we had a face. This one. Right? And that was interesting because it was in an industry where there were no faces. So my face was just one of the faces. And I think after me, there's always been a face of indie games, weirdly enough. Right? Like you had Xalavier after me, sort of like Nelson of...
even before that, you had, you had like Phil Fish being plastered everywhere for Fez. You had Edmund being plastered everywhere for Isaac, and arguably, Edmund's latest game, like Cat Mugenics or whatever the fuck it's called, is likely going to be huge because his face is still a face. So it clearly does work.
There is this opportunity to have a face. But it's a really weird balance to strike. And at Vlambeer, it worked really well because my co-founder, Jan Willem, did not want to be the face. And since it was a very small team, that worked. But if you're working on a game with like 20 people, it feels really weird to go and be like, I made that. Like on the game I'm working on right now, I had a team of 6. You know, I put a tiny experiment by Rami Ismail on it because, the people know Rami Ismail. But it feels really weird to say my game,
I was gonna say, how do you feel doing that?
Yeah, odd,
Yeah.
but like it's also part of, like it's part of sort of the reason it's interesting to the publisher as well.
Yeah.
It would feel really bad having the publisher reach out and like set up this whole game effort and then not call it a game by me,
Yeah.
because that I think that's part of why they were interested in the first
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
And I think we need more experiments. I think we need more bets. So this is a pretty weird game, the one that I'm working on.
Yes,
Um,
actually, I do want you to tell me about it because I know
mm,
nothing. I saw the trailer and I saw your
right,
message about it, but I know nothing about it. Tell me
right.
some things about it. So it's called Australia Did It.
Australia did it. Yeah,
Australia Did It. Okay,
Australia
I'm
did
glad I
it.
got that bit right.
Yeah, hey, well done, marketing team. Well done, y'all.
Yeah.
Well done. Even Mike knows.
Yeah.
No, Australia did it is a bit of a weird one. It started basically with the publisher asking me if I wanted to do a strategy game,
Okay.
and I've never done a strategy game.
But why did that conversation happen? Because that
That
seems very
conversation happened
random.
because they are starting a publisher.
Okay.
So this is sort of their first foray into publishing games. They're all former publishing folks,
Okay.
but they're starting a new thing.
Okay.
And basically, they said, okay, like if we're gonna start, let's start with doing something a bit left field,
Mhm.
like a bit weird. And they said, okay, let's reach out to some developers we know and see if they want to do a strategy game,
Mhm.
especially ones that haven't done strategy before.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see if we can make something a little fresh and,
But
and
this
weird.
feels a little, on some level, it feels a little bit like when you were talking about the Serious Sam stuff.
Hmm.
It feels like on the same level of that,
Yeah,
of
and
you doing something a little, well, very different to what you've done before.
right, right. And Serious Sam was very similar. It was a very odd game.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the best game Flambeer made, but it
Mhm.
was interesting,
Yeah.
right? And so I think the vibe here is very similar. I
Mhm.
wanted to make something very interesting. I think this one turned out pretty good.
Mhm.
Um, but the conceit is very simple. I really like strategy games.
Mhm.
Since I was a kid, StarCraft and Total Annihilation and Command and Conquer and
Sure.
like anything that could run on my PC, I liked. The only thing I hated was that if I played multiplayer, the game usually was decided either in the last 5 minutes
Mm.
or in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't know which one. You would still have to play the
Yeah.
30 minutes,
Because a
right?
lot of the time it was just who was the quickest at doing this setup
Right.
this linear setup that you had to do.
And
Yeah.
you don't know
Yeah.
whether the other player is ahead or you're
Yeah.
behind. And
You
usually
used
if
to
you
play
lost,
like Age of Empires or Stronghold,
yeah,
and all of a sudden an army would come over the hill, and you'd be like, "Ah, I wasn't ready." Yeah, I
and it,
remember that.
it was that thing where you would lose because your granary
Yeah.
was like 2 tiles further away
Yeah, yeah,
from
yeah.
the source than your opponent, so they
Mhm.
had like a 3% economy advantage, and over the game that played out to them having 43 extra units.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate watching replays and going like, oh, if I had known, I would have just given up here.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to make a strategy game that doesn't do that.
Mhm.
I want to make a strategy game that will just sort of like punch you in the face
Yeah.
if you fall behind.
Yeah.
So I started thinking about that. It's a grid-based strategy game. You have a small grid,
Yeah.
and then you have 4 grids on the outside. Enemies spawn on the outside, and they try to attack the middle,
Okay.
basically. So it's a little bit tower defense in that way.
Yeah.
You build your units on the inside of the grid. You can put them on the wall from where they can attack.
Yeah.
Um, and the only way to build stronger units is by merging units together.
Okay. Okay.
So you
Is
start
it
with 3
turn-based or
base
is it
units.
real time?
It's turn-based, yeah.
Turn-based, right.
So you have 3 base units, you can merge them, and then you can merge the outcome of those, and then you can make these wild
Right. Oh,
combinations of units.
that's interesting. Have you played like all of these what people call like
Yeah,
auto chess,
alchemy.
auto battlers, all of those kind of things, like the LOL one and stuff, where you're
Yes.
mixing the units kind of thing.
Yeah. It's very alchemy based,
Yeah.
and then that actually comes back a little bit as well. Because you can't win.
Right.
You always get overrun.
Just like
Right.
life.
It just like life,
Yeah.
right? And so the idea is that you take your best units
Hmm.
and you put them on the train that's in the center of the level.
Okay.
And then they're removed from play,
Yeah.
but you take them with you
Yeah, they get the fuck out
to
of
the
there.
next phase of the game.
Yeah.
But you still have to defend your base for the next 2 turns while your train gets ready to leave.
Right,
So
right.
there's sort of this balance, this tension between, do I stay? Do I get some extra merges in? Do I get the heck out of here?
Yeah.
Am I going to protect my 2 core units for my build? And like, so there's
Yeah.
all this kind of going on.
That's exciting.
When you're trading the parts, it switches to a real-time game. The train just moves along a rail, and all the units in your train do sort of like an auto shooter, like bullet heaven, kind of like they shoot. You just pick whoever's shooting. It's that part is not like a very like it's not like that's a very big like you're doing a lot kind of part. It's kind of more of a celebration if you did well.
Yeah, that's cool.
And if you did poorly, you die there.
Yeah,
That's within 2 or 3 minutes of getting behind the curve.
Yeah.
That'll be it. And then you get upgrades, and you can empower your train, stuff like that. It's kind of weird because it's really simple.
Yeah.
It's also really complex.
Yeah.
Like making this game was a pain, and I don't know if I will ever do a strategy game again.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because
a pain in the sense of, was it hard to make it fun? I imagine it was like okay to build it, and then you got to a point and you were like, shit, now we have to like try. Or was it fun from the beginning?
It was pretty fun from the beginning. The bigger issue is that, so if you do an arcade game, right, like I'm used to, you know whether it's good within like 20 minutes.
Because of the feel of
you start building it,
you
get the feeling down, you're good. We got the feeling down on this one pretty quickly. The problem with it is not that it wasn't fun. The problem is that connection between the two game modes, between the strategy, action, means that a choice made here impacts you 8 levels later.
Balancing bullshit.
And creating that sense of like, I understand why I'm making choices.
Yes.
I have agency in what's happening to me. That was hard.
Yes.
Like explaining this system to play, because this doesn't exist. The game doesn't exist. There's not a game like it out there.
Yeah.
So really having to explain to people like, okay, you know what? Fuck around with this a little bit. Without them going like 25 minutes later, oh, I should have made a different choice at the start, which is exactly the problem I was trying to avoid.
But it's even harder problem sometimes when you get like a game design where what you're describing, but also the player dies and it's not clear why they did. And it's not even like your fault as a designer that it is. Right. It's just because there is some kind of element of the game that is that they are either not fully understanding or they're not understanding the ramifications of it.
Right.
And it's leading into them dying in this other way now because maybe a number didn't get bumped up or they didn't have enough of this or whatever. But now it looks like, because if a player dies, a lot of the time it's they died in this moment and it must therefore be this that killed them. Because that's the moment. But actually it's I think they did 10 minutes ago. But even then, as a designer, sometimes it can be hard to work out how the fuck am I going to now explain that the thing they did 10 minutes ago is actually the issue they've just hit.
That is exactly why this game was a pain to make.
Yeah.
That is exactly it.
Yeah.
It was trying to figure out how to get that understanding into the player of like this choice.
Yeah.
It's probably the reason.
Yeah.
That the trade is on fire.
That's interesting. That's really interesting.
Which with an arcade game is much easier.
Yeah, of course, because it's all immediate. It's all, if I die in Nuclear Throne, why did I die in Nuclear Throne?
Because the thing hit you in the face.
It fucking hit me. I should have dodged better. Yeah. That's interesting.
It was really fun, and I really appreciate the publisher, Mystic Forge, for taking the gamble.
Yeah.
And I like that. I miss that. I miss publishers just kind of going...
What had Mystic Forge done before? Because you said that they have gone publishing. What were they doing before that?
Some of them were Good Shepherd.
Okay. Right.
So they came kind of from that direction.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
They're good people. I really appreciate working with them.
Yeah.
They picked up another game I really liked called Dog Witch, which I thought was phenomenal.
Yeah.
If you haven't played it, strongly recommend. It's funny because I was telling the publisher that it's kind of opposite games.
Yeah.
Like Dog Witch is kind of hard to pitch. Because it's like a little roguelike with some dice, and you look at it and you're like, yeah, I've played that.
Yeah.
And then you play it, and you play it for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And you go, oh no, I'm going to be losing a lot of time to this one. Right.
I've started to get to the point now, though, where when I start to get that feeling, I'm so grateful for it. Because I'm getting to the point, for better or for worse, where I sometimes just need something to just destroy time for me. Sometimes I've been picking games where I play them and I'm like, I actually don't even think that this game is that good. I don't even think it's that fantastic, but I can see the loop and I know I'm just going to get to sit and mindlessly do it for the next few hours. And there's some evenings when that's all I want. That's all I want.
Australia is kind of interesting. Australia did it because it kind of has the opposite problem. It's very easy to pitch.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's kind of a complex game.
Yeah.
So getting to play it, it's not like in 20 minutes you'll go like, oh, I get it, this is awesome. It requires a little bit of intent to play it. And even though the immediate moment is really cool, building those units, merging those units, seeing the action gameplay is really cool, getting to the point where you're really engaging with everything in that game, that takes a few hours. So they're kind of opposite games, and I'm like, that's a really interesting start for a publisher. It's just
definitely.
Like full, just complete opposite directions. I guess see which one works. Like that. I like that. I miss that. I wrote my I don't know if you read it, but I wrote my Giant Bomb Game of the Year list.
I saw that. Yeah, you did a cheeky little podcast shout out.
I did
at the start.
At the start. At the start. Yeah.
But you forgotten about this podcast.
But I think the thing that was most that I got the most response on was that little shout out. To please, for the love of God, fund games that might not work. Because it's not good out here.
No,
it's not good out here.
I think I'm doing that right now. I think if I think about the stuff we're doing, I'm publishing some fucking batshit stuff in the next year that I'm excited about.
Good. Good. We love that. We need that.
But you know, the reason why I'm doing it is not really like it's not a stepping out of comfort zone or anything like that. It's because when we used to do that, things went very well for us.
Right.
So I'm like, well, maybe I should just go back to and you know, I'm in my head, I'm misappropriating like why things aren't selling as well versus why they were then.
Right.
Arguably, we've not published anything as like batshit as like Hypnospace Outlaw in a while now. So I'm very specifically now looking for weird shit again. Like something like Little Rocket Lab wasn't weird. It wasn't a weird game. You could look at it and go, "Oh, it's Stardew Valley," and it's Factorio, and there's nothing weird about that. It was cute as fuck, and I thought that's going to sell, and thank God for me, it did.
It did.
But there was still a bit of me that's like, oh, it'd be nice to. We're announcing a game in a couple of weeks at the start of February. I'll talk to you about it after we announced it. But that's fucking weird.
All right, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's like a game about grinding people into the ground and burnout and shit like that. So I'm excited about that one.
It's like it's weird because from a market perspective, there's two things that work, right? Like thing A but B, or thing C, right? There's nothing.
I know.
There's no other combination that works.
I know.
But everybody is doing thing A but B, and almost nobody is doing thing C. So as long as you're doing thing C, there's a chance that might, like, it's not guaranteed, but it's a better chance than trying to fight in the A but B market. For the 11 genres that are currently working.
Well, I'll tell you, when you were just talking about, sort of that problem you were just talking about of the whole, how do I give the player the feedback about you kind of fucked up here? It was reminding me because, so I could tell you this long whole story, and I don't know if I'll tell it you right now or I'll save it for another time, but No More Robots, I've been trying to get like a No More Robots developed game made for so long. We started in like 2020. We started making a game. We made it for a few years, and there was this whole situation where we found a partner who wanted to fund it, and then all of a sudden they ghosted us, and all of this kind of stuff. And then there was a second game we were making, and that didn't work out. And now we've got this third game we're making, which we're actually fucking doing this time, which we announced at the end of last year, called Cruise Control. And actually, I think you'd find the story of this fascinating. Essentially, it's a cruise liner game. It looks a lot like it's sort of a theme hospital style game, but for cruise liners. And that's what it was. Originally, like 2 years ago, I was like, right, let's just make something that we fucking know we can make. Let's just get it. It would just be nice to get a game out instead of this bullshit we've been going through where we're getting disappointed. So I said we've got like a little team at No More Robots of 4 people who are sort of in team development, and so we start making Cruise Control, and it's very much theme cruise cruise liner. That's what it is, right? And we've been making it for about 6 months, and we got very far, and we got really into it, and it was exactly what you expect it to be. And also, it was boring as fuck. Holy shit, it was boring. And I was like, why is this so fucking boring? And I started like going back and just playing all the games I love, Theme Hospital, blah, all this kind of stuff. And it turns out that actually, and this might be sacrilege to say, but it turns out maybe the genre's just not actually very fun. And it's maybe more, as I was mentioning earlier, just a thing where you just sit and kind of click on shit and you make things happen. And I realized that that's not what I wanted as our first game. I wanted, even though that's what I want out of games right now, I wanted the first thing that Nova Robots was making to be something that was exciting and fun, and like you actually came away from it like I enjoyed that there was some kind of peril to that. There's no peril to that genre of games. If you're losing, then you just do a bit better. So I had like an internal meltdown where I was like, what the fuck am I going to do about it?
That sounds like game development.
Yeah. And for a good month, I just didn't know what to do. And then one day I was sat at my computer like, what the fuck am I going to do here? And I just went for a walk. I was just like, I didn't even think I'm going to go for a walk. I literally went downstairs, put my shoes on and my coat. I just walked out the front door.
You just
no plan. I just walked out the front door. And
I
was walking and walking. And then my brain was like, okay. What can I do about this situation? How about if we take everything we've made so far and actually it's a completely different game? And I started to explain. I started to explore in my head, what the fuck does this look like? And other games and other genres I liked. And somehow my brain came upon, well, you really enjoy sort of the mini Metro games, the mini Metro, mini Motorways, those kind of things.
Yeah.
Is there something there? And eventually we've ended up stumbling on from that sort of me thinking that could be a fun way to go. We've stumbled upon this amalgamation of like a mini Metro style game crossed with like a theme or like a 2-point game or something.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's one of those games. But when you play it, it's very, so you don't have money. You don't have like in the game, you don't have economy. You're not like, you don't have like a star rating for your ship or anything like that. It's literally a bunch of people get on the ship and they've got needs. For example, they want to go to the cinema or they want to work out or they want to, there's a bunch of different rooms and things. They want to like sunbathe or something. And if during their time on the cruise, they do that thing, their need is cleared, and then on the next cruise, they leave. Okay?
Yeah.
But if their need isn't cleared, they stay on the ship. And now more people get on the ship. And now there's more people on the ship. And if a queue for any of the rooms gets big enough, then a countdown timer starts on the room.
Very mini
Metro, right?
Yeah.
And so the whole point then is you need to clear that queue, because if you don't clear the queue and the timer completely goes, then you lose.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it's part of what you were just saying there about the trying to explain cause and effect to a player, right?
Yeah.
Because if my cinema overflows, then you could argue that the solution is build another cinema.
Yeah.
Okay, that seems like the obvious solution. And I imagine that that's what a player would do. The problem is that you are maybe not considering what the cause of it happening was.
Yeah.
Why are so many people queuing for the cinema? Because actually, in that scenario, it's probably not you didn't build enough cinemas.
Yeah.
It's probably an overall you are not dealing with people fast enough. So all of these other facilities are rammed with people because you've not put enough sunbeds out. So not enough of the sunbed people are using the sunbeds. So now they're staying on and they're using the cabins and the restaurants more. So those are got too many people. So now the cinema goer can't go to the restaurant. So he's going to the cinema. And there's like a whole series of decisions that these little people can make. So it's not a definite linear, thus you must build a cinema. And that's part of what we are currently struggling with, like trying to suss out, because people are losing and they're having fun, thank God. Like, the game actually got fucking fun. Thank fuck for that. Can you believe my relief?
Yeah.
But now it's starting to get into the nitty-gritty of some players are not getting very far in a run, and they're not, and the conclusion they're coming to, it's not incorrect, but it's also they can't see the full picture.
Yeah.
So how am I, as the designer now, explaining to them, so you lost this way, but here are some ideas about why, and you can throw in like a little tip screen when the game's loaded and shit like that. But also, really, it's something you need to better ingrain in the game without 1 billion tutorial pop-ups all the time. We've got this little dolphins appear in the corner of the screen, like the little doctor used to appear in theme hostels. So we've got like a little dolphin who pops up and is like, "Oh, don't you think that maybe you should build more deck chairs?" and that kind of thing. But it's an ongoing issue.
I mean, in the end, I think even mini Metro, mini Motorway haven't fully solved it.
No,
like it's just at some point things go to hell.
Yeah.
And then you look at it, you're like,
yeah.
Like when I see the timer in a mini game, I'm done.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. But then there's people who are like pausing and rearranging everything. Pausing, rearranging, which is what some players are doing with cruise control. They're like pausing, change all of the rooms around. So we definitely managed to like capture that feel. But it definitely is because, I think an issue we're hitting is because because visually it looks more casual than it now fucking is. Now we've got some people playing it who are more casual players who were looking for 2-point cruise boat, and now they are like, they're struggling.
It's so funny. That's very similar to what we ran into. Because Australia it looks fairly accessible. It looks like a turn-based strategy game. If you like turn-based strategy games, you'll enjoy this. You might. You might also very much not, right? Because it isn't a standard turn-based strategy game. Like a lot of references playtesters have are like Into the Breach, like games like that. But it is more of a tower defense. Like you're protecting a place rather than there's no offensive purpose. Like you're not attacking to attack. You're
kind of just doing a lot of blocking moves rather than
that's it. That's what most of what you're doing. And sure, killing enemies and being able to stay around longer gives advantages. We added a little enemy type that appears only after you've stayed longer than we think is healthy for you. You get stronger enemies that gives you more stuff. And that was one of those solves where as we were building, we were like, but is there any reason to stay beyond like merging a few more powerful units? And then another one that I found fascinating was very early playtests. Well, we hadn't really figured out sort of the core loop. One of our issues was people just stayed in the first level.
Yeah, I bet they did.
They stayed in the first level to merge up to the most powerful units they could get.
That's one of the most annoying things that people do. With Little Rocket Lab, they would sit and play the demo for 20 plus hours because they just wanted to take the small amount of things that we'd given them there. And the problem then was that we were making it so that you could then, if you bought the full game, carry the demo on. So if you just built unbelievable factories in the demo and then you went into chapter 2, you'd semi-fuck chapter 2 up for yourself. It's a fascinating thing for me that because there's a definite different mindset, right? Between some people just want to get a fucking move on. I'm a get a fucking move on person. I'm just like, the moment I can move on to the next level, I'll do it. Maybe I'll do one side quest, but no, I'm probably moving on. And then there's other people who cannot move on until they think they've got the full 1000% out of the initial scenario you've given.
It's really funny because in RPGs, I'm that second one.
Oh, you? That's
in every other game. I'm the first one. Like a shooter, please don't give me side objectives. Point me at the big thing. Let me shoot it. RPGs, though, did I find the last piece of flour in this field? And please don't tell me they respawn because I will never leave.
If there's ever a quest that's like, collect X number of these, I'm like, I'm good.
I'm like, okay, let me go grab those real quick. It's nearby anyway. And then
No, I
like
hate those
4
games.
hours later, I'm like, oh yeah, that side quest brought me to a side quest that brought me to a side quest.
Yeah.
I'm like, am I having fun?
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I really?
Yeah, I know. Well, about I'm playing with a couple of friends. I'm playing this game called Fellowship at the moment, which on Steam, which is literally every single MMO you have ever played in your life. It's literally just World of Warcraft
Right.
again, except that they're pretending to slightly be to do with Lord of the Rings, even though they're not.
Amazing.
And that is exactly what you're describing, and it fits into what I was saying earlier about
Right.
we just sit and we just do the same little
Right.
grindy bit over and over, and the numbers go up a little bit. But something I found fascinating is that because it's so mindless, it means I just sit and chat to a couple of friends
Yeah.
for a few hours, and that's
Yeah.
been pretty nice. I've enjoyed doing that because I'm old now.
To date myself, I call those games Skype games.
Yeah, that's a good name. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just Skype games. It's
yeah,
just you just sit there, you talk. Like
yeah.
Destiny has been that for me, and it's funny because Destiny, to a degree, is very much in the same space you describe Fellowship,
Yes, yes,
because it's Destiny,
yes.
but it's currently Star Wars Destiny,
Oh, is it?
and it's
Oh,
really
because they
weird
just added
because
lightsabers, did they?
they have the license, I
Yeah.
think, that they're allowed to, but they don't because it's Destiny. So you have Star Wars esque. It feels
That's
like
very funny.
it's incredible because they have the lightsabers,
Yeah.
right? And they have the story beats. They repurposed a few of the characters
Mhm,
to that fit well enough in the original Star Wars archetype
mhm.
that those characters could just be those characters,
Yeah.
but in Destiny. But the thing that gets me is I can't stop feeling like I'm playing a bootleg game.
Mhm.
Like when I was growing up,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
it's not Super Mario, it's a dude with a mustache and a hat,
Yeah.
right? Uh, but it
That's
somehow it
funny.
works. It works for me. But the
Yeah.
thing that gets me about Destiny is you can play it the mindless way,
Mhm.
or you can play it like sweaty.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
and I
With
love
all
that
the
I could
raids
just
and stuff.
I sit
Yeah.
down on my couch and I just go like, what do I feel like tonight?
Yeah.
And that I've never had a game do that for me where I can be like, okay, whatever my mood,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna play for like 30 minutes to an hour.
That's fascinating. Yeah, when Destiny 2 came out, me and my wife, we played it for a long time. Did you play the new Destiny? Like the mobile thing?
Yeah, I did play it a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
tried that. It was fascinating because I played it like with an Android emulator on my PC,
Right. Right.
and
Same.
it did actually kind of feel like it was a
Yeah.
new Destiny game. Uh, but I tried to get people into it, and after a few hours, no one was bothered,
Yeah.
and we just had to drop it. Which I felt was
It's really
sad
weird.
because it had like semi nostalgia vibes to me
Yeah.
because I played the other Destinies, but
Right.
no one else had those vibes. Therefore, it was
I
dropped.
played it a little bit. It was weird. It was a really weird moment in Destiny because Destiny is in a rough spot,
Yeah.
right? Like
Oh
sort of
yes, it
like
is.
public opinion
Yeah.
wise, it's in a very bad spot.
Yeah.
Game wise, it's actually in a pretty good spot right
Yeah.
now, but that's not how public opinion works.
No.
The most frustrating thing about the Destiny community to me
Mhm.
is that they forget that this is a 10-year-old game
Yeah.
and that no, you don't have the feeling of there's a million new things to do
Yeah.
because they don't have 2 years to build the new
Yeah.
things, right? They have 6 months now.
Mhm.
Um, and so when Rising came out,
Mhm.
everyone was like, "Oh my god, this is how Destiny's supposed to feel. I'm having fun. I'm finding stuff. I have new loot." I'm like, "Yeah, because you started at zero."
Yeah.
And then after 3 months, everybody was like, "Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it was okay. It was okay." And I'm like, "Really, y'all? I mean, I know I shouldn't say this to a degree because Destiny really needs its players, but please go play something else for a little bit
Yeah.
and then come back."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
um, which Arc Raiders is doing a great job. Like people are playing a lot of
Yeah.
Arc Raiders.
Yeah.
So,
And we'll have to see how Marathon goes as well because
oh,
yeah,
I'm
I don't know
I'm
which
nervous
way.
about that one.
Yeah, I would say I'm nervous, but there's parts of me that would quite like it to be good. And I think it
Yeah,
would
same.
just be good for video games as well if it was.
I like Bungie. That's just
I
it.
know. I know.
I just like Bungie. I like the folks at
Are they
Bungie.
Bungie anymore? Is potentially the question,
I
you know?
I think there's enough. Bungie is one of those weird things where I think there's two truths in the games industry. Is Bungie has some of the best game feel in the games industry,
Mm,
and nobody should ever purchase Bungie.
mm, yeah.
Like those are two truths because every time anybody has purchased Bungie, They've ended up like stabbing them in the back and walking away, whether it was Activision or Microsoft or whoever had them at that point.
Just leave them alone.
Yeah, just let Bungie cook.
Yeah.
I think.
They spring
but
back like a bungee cord. Yeah. Has anyone ever made that joke before? Has anyone been stupid enough to make that joke before?
Probably. I just don't think anybody was ever so proud of it.
Yeah, I am proud of that
one. I will say, I think Bungie being under Sony puts it in a very weird spot.
Yeah,
because it's not what Bungie is good at.
No,
it's what Sony usually has from its third party or first party studios.
We'll see though. Maybe they'll hard push it on PlayStation, and it'll be, if they do for it what they did for like Apex, for example.
Yeah.
Then you never know, do you?
Yeah,
could be big.
Oh, Vince, that was news.
Oh God, yeah. I didn't know him at all. I don't think I ever met. Maybe I'd met him at like one of those GDC, top of the tower kind of parties or something. But I don't know. I didn't know him.
Yeah, I've run into him quite frequently.
Yeah.
He was a good guy, I think.
Yeah.
My experience with him were very positive. I ran into him at one of the first DICE I went to in Vegas, I think. And this was at the time where I think the industry hadn't figured out that yet, that indie is not AAA, which was weird, but like you were a studio founder. Yeah. And so we talked about studio founder things, even though I was talking about, JW.
Yeah.
And Vince was talking about 240 people.
Yeah.
He never made that a difference.
Yeah.
He was always just like, so what are y'all up to?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, working on this. And he would just would have thoughts and ideas. And we would talk about the direction of the industry and sort of what I'm doing, what he's doing, what we're going to do next time we see each other.
Yeah.
And then kind of no matter where I ran into him, he would always make like 30 minutes, an hour to just sit down and chat.
Yeah.
And just talk life, games, everything. There's a few people in AAA that are kind of like that. That will consistently just make time for people that are under their layer, of the industry. But Vince didn't give a shit what you were doing as long as you gave a shit about it, and I think he appreciated that I gave a shit, even if we disagreed about things. That was very fun. I will very much miss him at the events I used to talk to him.
Such a shame. Yeah,
it's been a bad year for games industry people dying.
Yeah, it was a bad year. Well, okay. Let me think of a silly story to end on.
Yeah, let's get a segue for this one.
I actually I was mentioning earlier. I know a funny story that I thought about when we were talking earlier. I mentioned BAFTA. I mentioned being at a BAFTA event, and I've got a really funny BAFTA story for. Are you in BAFTA?
I'm not. I'm not.
Can you be in BAFTA if you're outside the UK?
I can be an honorary. Okay. Yeah, you can. One of my favorite possessions is a tiny black tie.
Yeah.
And I got the black tie because the first time I got invited to a BAFTA thing, I did not know what black tie meant.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I had no idea.
Oh, no.
So wow. I just put on my usual outfit. Which is a leather jacket and a video games t-shirt.
Yeah.
And then, God bless the folks at BAFTA, instead of just yeeting me out of the building, at the entrance they went, you are not dressed for the occasion.
So
I'm like,
funny.
I am not.
Oh,
and they were like, but luckily, your shirt is light and your jacket is dark.
I love the idea that BAFTA has some kind of cupboard that is just like filled with clothing just in case people turn up like that.
They gave me a black tie. So I had my black leather jacket with a white t-shirt with, I think it was not Fez, it was an indie game logo. And they said just zip the jacket up far enough that you don't see the logo, and then put on this black tie. That's and I'm great. Like, I don't even know how to put this on. And so the lady just put the black tie on me. And so
that's unbelievable.
2 or 3 years in a row, I took that exact outfit to BAFTA.
And then you didn't get another one.
No, I brought the one tie. This
Oh
is my
my
one. I have
God.
one black tie, and this is the
You
black
know
tie
that
I
is
got
such a
from
man
BAFTA.
thing, though. Like,
Right.
no woman would ever do it. No woman would be like, "Oh, I'm not dressed this time, so next time I'm just going to take the stuff that they gave me." They like a woman would be too embarrassed to do that. Men are
Here's
just
the
like,
thing.
whatever.
I thought it was a good bit. That was it. I'm like, sure. I got a lot of questions and comments the first time I did that. So I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? And then after 2 years or 3 years, I think it was the second or third time, I was like, you know what? They've been very kind to
Yeah,
me.
maybe I should try.
So I went out and I
That's
splurged on
good.
a proper suit.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's good.
And then BAFTA was very happy to see me in
That's
an
very good.
appropriate
That's
outfit.
very
Yeah.
good. Over the years, I've been like to loads of BAFTAs. Like the thing is,
Right.
BAFTAs in London. You know,
Yeah.
it like they say that they do events around the UK, and they do some. We've had some in Manchester,
Mhm.
but really
Yeah.
they're a London thing.
They're in
And I
London.
think that you get the most benefit of being a BAFTA member if you're in London because there's
Yeah.
events going on. You can use space there, etc., etc., etc.
Mhm.
So I had never even considered applying to be a BAFTA
Sure.
member because I kind of didn't see. Obviously, you have to pay for it. It's like a
Right.
subscription as well. So I'd never really thought about it. But over the years, multiple BAFTA people have sort of hinted that maybe I should. You know, so there's been like you know, I've gone to events there. I've done talks there. I've done
Right.
panels there. I once
Right.
did like a fireside chat where I went down
Right.
and someone interviewed me in front of a big group of people. And then we've done some things in Manchester. I've had calls,
Right.
and multiple times over the last like 6-7 years. It's always been like, oh, you should think about applying. At one
Right.
point, I did apply, and I remember I spent ages filling this form out, and then I hit the
Yep.
go button, and it crashed, and I lost everything. And I was like, well, I'm not doing this again. So anyway, a couple when was this was about 18 months ago or something, BAFTA applications were open again, and I
Yeah.
had another call with like one of the BAFTA heads, and again he kind of hinted like, oh, maybe you should do this.
Maybe you should do
And
that.
the thing is, my wife's in BAFTA, so you know, like I get the benefits. Like she gets like
Right.
loads of all the
Right.
Steam games, and I just
Yeah.
have her Steam account, so I get.
Right.
So I don't
Right.
even need it for that. But I kind of got to the point where I was like, oh man, maybe I should just do this. Like, because
Right.
maybe I can be useful now. You know, maybe I
Exactly.
could like give back a little bit. Maybe I should
Yeah.
go and do this. So
Yeah.
I thought, fine, fuck it. You know what? I'll do this. I think this is the correct thing for me to do. So I kind of spent some time filling out this application, sent it in, and then I kind of semi forgot about it. And then I saw some people online saying, "Oh, I've just been applying for your BAFTA member." And I was like, "Oh, interested." So I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I wonder if I'm going to get it through soon." And I get an email, and it's like, "It's like we regret to inform you." I can't even say it. Oh no!
Well, you were a great applicant.
We get to inform you that you weren't picked this time, and I remember just like reading it and being like, "What? What?" And I was like, well, okay, something must have happened here because, like, I've literally been told by multiple people to do that, and very recently been told. So I like emailed the guy at BAFTA there who I've been talking to. I was like, I just got this email, like, you know, I'm not being like, don't you fucking know who I am or anything, but like, you've been like telling me to apply, and I felt
I've
like
been lobbied.
yeah, I like felt like maybe you wanted me to apply, and he was like, I'm nothing to do with it. Like it's like a committee who choose. I'll get in touch now and I'll find out what happened. They must have just made a mistake, and then I never heard anything again. So
you are a BAFTA applicant. But
I am
not a BAFTA
reject. That's why. And then since then, I've literally gone to another BAFTA event.
Yeah, of course.
So that's good, isn't it? Oh dear. Yeah. Which
It's one of those
arguably
things.
is actually a funnier and better outcome.
This is great. This is
You
great.
know, than seeing all the events that are going on in London and being like, well, can't go to any of them.
Right.
Because I'm fucking miles away.
It reminds me of every now and then this happens where I go to an event and I'm keynote speaker or speaker.
Yeah.
And then I get to the door and I'm like, hi, I'm picking up my badge. And they're like, what's your name? I'm like, I'm Rami Ismail. And they're like, let me look. And they're like, we don't have you on the list. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's great.
That's a classic.
But I have to be on the stage in like 11 minutes.
I'm very late as per usual. Yeah. You need to let me in. Can you not see the little bow tie thing that I get? You gave me 3 years ago.
So, and it's so funny because to a degree, I'm very sensitive to security at events.
Yeah.
Not because I am paranoid, but because I normally get fucked by security at events. Right? Like this is just standard random check issue. Where no matter where I go, it's always like, are you sure you're supposed to be here and that your bag is not filled with dangerous things?
Yeah.
So whenever an event is like, absolutely, sir, we'll trust you in your pretty brown eyes. I'm like, am I safe in this building? You know? So it's that weird thing where whenever I get in that situation, I just hope that they cause trouble where I can't get to. And then, you know, hopefully somebody will call me or I will call them and just be like, hey, please come pick me up at the door.
Yeah.
But I don't know how that happens. I don't know how you book a keynote speaker and then don't put them on the guest list.
I guess it's like an easy thing to forget to do, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess it is.
You book the person and then you put some kind of Eventbrite up or whatever the event is. Yeah. And why would you then put their name on it and they're not going to sign up themselves? Yeah. Just an oversight.
Yeah, and then I get to do my usual. Hi, sorry for being a few minutes late. Let me hook up my laptop and let's get started. Yeah.
Mine's always, if I ever do a talk, it's always, oh, I'm really jet lagged. Oh, I'm really sorry, I'm really jet lagged. Oh, I'm really sad because I always am. I get really bad jet lag.
Because you're just tired.
Because I'm just tired, and it's actually I'm just tired. I'm just using an excuse. All right, good. Well, that's enough of that.
I guess we're still here.
We're done, but we are still here. Goodbye, everyone. Cheerio from this BAFTA reject. You've been listening to Mike and Rami Are Still Here with me, Mike Rose, and Rami Ismail. Edited by Chris Lees. Theme tune by Jay Folan. Key art by Stacey Satchel.